Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, condensed and retold for people who don't have the patience to read. It was a pleasure to burn. At least that's how Guy Montag, a fireman in a future society, felt about his job. In this world, books are forbidden, and it's the fireman's duty to burn them. Montag relished the flames that consumed pages filled with ideas and stories, believing he was helping to create a happy, conflict-free world. The people around him lived in a state of blissful ignorance, entertained by loud wall-sized televisions and their seashell ear devices. They were conditioned to avoid discomfort, and Montag was one of them, until he met Clarice McClellan. Clarice was different. She was curious, questioning, and alive. As they walked home from work one night, she posed a simple yet profound question: "Are you happy?" This rattled Montag. He had never considered his own happiness. The mere inquiry sent him spiraling into doubt about his life. He returned home to find his wife, Mildred, in a stupor, oblivious to the world around her as she indulged in the shallow dramas on her screens. Their home was filled with emptiness, and Mildred's disconnection cut deep. Soon, a shocking event unfolded. Mildred attempted suicide by overdosing on sleeping pills, leaving Montag in a state of panic and confusion. He realized that something was dreadfully wrong in their lives. In the aftermath of Mildred's crisis, Montag began to steal books from the fires he set, stashing them away in the air ducts of their home. Each stolen book sparked a yearning within him, igniting a hunger for knowledge and understanding. As Montag delved into his hidden treasures, he discovered new worlds of thought that clashed violently with the government's ideals. But it wasn't until his encounter with the woman who chose to burn alongside her books that his transformation truly began. Montag watched as she refused to abandon her beloved volumes, lighting the match herself and declaring that her books were worth more than her life. Her bravery shook him to the core, prompting a deep-seated rebellion against the world he once embraced. The more Montag questioned, the more he found himself at odds with the people around him. Captain Beatty, his fire chief, was both a mentor and an adversary, possessing a wealth of knowledge about the very books he sought to destroy. Beatty attempted to convince Montag that books were to blame for unhappiness, citing their potential to create discord and confusion. However, Montag's growing discontent fueled a fire within him that could no longer be extinguished. In his desperation, Montag sought out Professor Faber, a former English professor he remembered from his past. Their meeting was a revelation. Faber explained that books contain the essence of human experience, emotions, thoughts, and truths. He lamented the loss of literature in society and how it led to a populace that no longer thought critically. Montag realized that he had to act. He couldn't remain silent any longer. Together, they devised a plan to undermine the oppressive regime by planting books in the homes of firemen. Montag's rebellion came to a head when he returned home to find Mildred betraying him. She had discovered his secret collection of books and reported him to the authorities. In a moment of anguish, Montag was ordered to burn his own home. The confrontation with Beatty reached a boiling point, leading to a tragic outcome. In a fit of rage and defiance, Montag turned the flamethrower on Beatty, killing him and marking his irrevocable departure from conformity. Now a fugitive, Montag fled the city, pursued by the Mechanical Hound, a terrifying robotic creature designed to hunt down dissenters. The world around him, once familiar, had transformed into a landscape of danger and uncertainty. As he navigated the darkened streets, memories of Mildred and his former life haunted him, yet he was determined to escape the oppressive confines of a society that sought to erase individuality. Montag eventually stumbled upon a group of intellectuals led by Granger, who had taken refuge in the wilderness. They were the keepers of knowledge, individuals who had committed entire books to memory, preserving the wisdom of the past for a future that would hopefully appreciate it. Granger welcomed Montag into their fold, recognizing that they were all survivors of a world that had turned its back on learning and literature. As the group shared their stories, Montag found solace and a sense of belonging. They discussed the significance of preserving literature and the importance of storytelling in shaping the human experience. Granger explained their vision: One day, when the world was ready, they would reintroduce the beauty of books and the power of ideas. Montag began to understand that knowledge was worth fighting for, and in this camaraderie, he discovered hope. As Montag embraced this new life, the memories of his previous existence began to fade. The haunting image of the city in flames served as both a sorrowful reminder and a catalyst for change. He realized that the world he had left behind was a place of ignorance, but it was also a chance for rebirth. With Granger and the others, he prepared to nurture the seeds of knowledge that had been buried beneath the ashes of destruction. The journey ahead would not be easy, but Montag was resolved. He had witnessed the devastating consequences of censorship and the suppression of free thought. In his heart, he knew that the stories and ideas they preserved would become the foundation for a new society, one built on understanding, empathy, and the celebration of individuality. The fire that once consumed books had ignited a new passion within him, a passion for life, learning, and the relentless pursuit of truth. As they sat together under the stars, Montag felt a sense of belonging he had never known before. He was no longer a mere fireman, he was part of a community dedicated to preserving the essence of humanity. They were the keepers of memories, the guardians of stories, and together they would rise from the ashes to build a brighter future. Fahrenheit 451 serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of knowledge and the power of the human spirit. In a world where conformity reigns and individuality is crushed, the act of reading becomes a revolutionary act. Montag's transformation from a complacent fireman to a passionate advocate for literature highlights the importance of questioning the status quo. The fire within him symbolizes hope, a hope that, even in the darkest of times, knowledge can be the light that guides us toward a better tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button to be a part of Quick Reads for People with No Patience, and see the description below to find out how you can get the original classic. Who knows, we might have piqued your interest.